The turbocharger is a device fitted to an engine to compress and increase the amount of oxygen that enters the engine using the exhaust gas energy and thereby increasing the power output. The types of turbo based on their configuration are as follows. Types of turbochargers based on their configuration are divided into two main groups. Single-type turbochargers only use one turbocharger to increase the intake air pressure. Twin turbocharger uses two turbochargers to increase the intake air pressure. The single-type turbocharger is usually located on the side of the engine exhaust side. Single-type turbocharger operates over all engine speed ranges from low RPM speeds to high RPM speeds. The disadvantage of using a conventional single turbocharger is that it cannot operate optimally at all engine speed ranges due to turbo lag at low engine speeds. To overcome the turbo lag, a variable geometry turbocharger or twin turbocharger is used. This is an example of how a single-type turbocharger operates. The twin turbocharger uses two turbochargers to increase the intake air pressure. According to the mode of operation, twin turbochargers can be divided into three groups, namely parallel configuration, sequential configuration, series configuration. Turbocharger with parallel configurations using two identical turbochargers and operate simultaneously over the entire engine speed ranges. This configuration is used on engine with a V-cylinder block configuration, where a turbocharger is in charge of increasing the intake air pressure on the left side of the engine block and another turbocharger on the right side. Like two engine with a single turbo working side by side. This is an example of how this parallel mode operates. Turbocharger with sequential configurations also use two turbochargers operating to increase the intake air pressure. The difference with the parallel configuration is that the two turbochargers have different operating modes so that not always both turbocharger operate simultaneously. One turbocharger operates at low engine speed while the other operates at high engine speed. The size of the two turbochargers are generally different because they operate at different engine RPM ranges, but some manufacturers may use the same or identical turbocharger sizes. There are three modes of operation of the sequential configuration turbocharger. The first sequential mode of operation is low and high, where only one low engine speed turbocharger operates at low engine speed. And when the engine speed increase, the high engine speed turbocharger start operating while the low engine speed turbocharger stops operating. The second sequential mode of operation is low, high and high, where only one low engine speed turbocharger operates at low engine speed. And when the engine speed increase, the high engine speed turbocharger start operating while the low engine speed turbocharger still operates. Both turbocharger operate simultaneously at high engine RPM speeds. This is an example of how this sequential mode operates. The third sequential mode of operation is to use a turbocharger to operate the engine with low and high RPM speed. Then another turbocharger operates on high RPM engine only. Both turbochargers operate simultaneously at low engine speed, and only one turbocharger operates at high engine RPM speeds. This is an example of how this sequential mode operates. Turbocharger with series configurations also use two turbochargers operating to increase the intake air pressure. These two turbochargers operate simultaneously, where the first turbocharger operates at natural intake air pressure while the second turbocharger operates at increased intake air pressure. The difference with parallel and sequential configurations is that these two turbochargers operate in series, where the increase in the intake air pressure generated in the first turbocharger becomes the air intake entering the second turbocharger, so that the intake air pressure is increased again and the total air pressure becomes higher due to being increased in two stages. This is an example of how this series mode operates. That's all about the types of turbochargers based on their configuration. If you don't mind, please click like and subscribe. Thank you.